in a monastery far from the maddening crowd. Nestled amidst tranquil gardens and ancient trees, lived a community of monks and nuns dedicated to a life of prayer and solitude. But today was no ordinary day. A somber stillness had fallen over the usually peaceful abode, and the monks and nuns had gathered in the candlelit chapel, their faces etched with worry and sorrow. They were not praying for themselves, but for the world outside their monastery walls. For weeks, the news had carried tales of war, famine, and pestilence, of people torn apart by hatred and consumed by despair. As they prayed, the ancient chants of the monks and nuns rose like a lament to the heavens, carrying with them the weight of humanity's grief. It was a sound that spoke of ages past, of a simpler time when faith was a guiding light in an uncertain world. Suddenly, the heavy wooden doors of the chapel burst open, as if by some unseen force, and a brilliant light flooded the room. Startled, the monks and nuns turned toward the entrance, their voices falling silent in awe and disbelief. Standing in the doorway was the figure of Jesus, his face radiating an otherworldly glow, his eyes filled with infinite compassion. The sight of him brought a hush over the chapel, and all who saw him were filled with a deep sense of peace. As he walked among them, his mere presence seemed to envelop the chapel in a warm embrace, driving away the shadows of fear and despair that had hung over them. The monks and nuns fell to their knees before him, their faces upturned, reflecting the light that poured forth from him. In that moment, their sorrow seemed to lift, replaced by a burgeoning hope, a tiny candle flame flickering in the vast darkness. And then, to their immense joy and gratitude, Jesus began to bless each one of them, laying his hands upon their heads and whispering words of comfort and strength. His touch brought a surge of warmth and solace, as if their wounds and worries were being caressed by the very essence of divine love. The monks and nuns felt their burdens lighten, their hearts swelling with a profound sense of peace that transcended human understanding. After blessing the last of his followers, Jesus raised his hands, and in that gesture, the atmosphere in the chapel shifted. The air grew thick with the scent of lilies, and the soft glow emanating from Jesus intensified, bathing the chapel in an ethereal light. Looking up, the monks and nuns saw behind him the gates of the heavenly city of Jerusalem, shimmering like a mirage in the desert, yet undeniably real in its splendor. The sight of this heavenly city filled them with indescribable wonder, its beauty surpassing any earthly kingdom they had ever seen or imagined. And as Jesus turned to them, his eyes shining with love and mercy, he beckoned toward the city with a graceful sweep of his hand. In that silent invitation, the monks and nuns understood they were being offered a glimpse of the eternal light that awaited them beyond the darkness of this world. Overwhelmed with emotion, the monks and nuns rose from their knees, their faces radiant with newfound hope. As they stepped out of the chapel hand in hand, the sounds of their Gregorian chants echoed through the halls, now transformed into a song of praise and eternal light. The sorrowful laments had become a jubilant hymn of faith and devotion. Word spread quickly through the monastery of the miraculous appearance of Jesus, and soon the entire community gathered in the chapel, their voices raised in joyous song and prayer. The shadow of fear and despair that had fallen over them had vanished, replaced by an unwavering belief in the promise of eternal light. And so, guided by their faith and the memory of Jesus' blessing, the monks and nuns continued their prayers and chants, their voices echoing through the ages, a testament to the transformative power of hope in the face of darkness.